want to take a chance to just connect with you, to just feel your presence and to see the light that you are in the world. Each and every one of you. Okay, I'm getting the hint here. Cynthia, raise your voice. I'll work with Cindy on that, right? I want to start going all the way back. 3.6 billion years ago, there was this massive explosion of creative energy. The infinite seeking to give expression to itself. And so for 3.6 billion years, it's been this incredible creative journey. The creation of planets and stars. The creation of the earth, the life on it. And for 3.6 billion years, this creative energy, this creative potential has been active, bringing us to this now moment. And I want you to just contemplate with me for just a moment the incredible miracle of that journey to here. Contemplate for a moment the miracle of 3.6 billion years of creative energy to create each and every one of you. And here's the incredible thing about it. The journey continues. The creative process is ongoing. The infinite is always seeking to give greater expression to itself. And we get to be part of that creative process. We are co-creators with Spirit, with God, with the infinite. Through our self-awareness, we make choices that give expression to the creative energy of God in our world. Charles Fillmore said, states of mind make events, and new states of mind are constantly being formed. Consequently, every moment is the beginning of a new creation to the individual. Every moment, something new is being formed. Our co-founder understood this. Our science speaks of it. There is this energy of creation that is constantly in motion. And so that's what we've been about through this transition process, is coming together as a community to co-create with one another and to co-create with God, with the infinite, with the creative energy, the creative impulse of the universe. And so we've been on this journey of metamorphosis. I've invited you into transformation. God has invited you into transformation. Because indeed, that creative energy, that creative impulse that shows forth in every moment is always inviting us to something more. And sometimes that process is a little messy. A little giggling there. Sometimes there's a little bit of goo in the process. My visionaries have really dug into the goo. And I called them my visionaries, but they're your community. We had some upheaval in some of our meetings, because what happens in this journey, what happens to the butterfly, happens in each one of us. Through the transformation, we dip down, and we need to let go. In the chrysalis, the caterpillar's body dissolves into this goo, and the imaginal cells become activated. They start to hum. And in that humming, a new creation is formed. So we dug into the goo a little bit with the visionaries and in our experience this past weekend. And if I can take this once more into the theory U that I introduced to you several months ago, that this process brings us down the left-hand side of the curve, the change curve. And in that process, we're invited to open our minds, which, coincidence, Deanne chose to do a book series on Think Again. Open our minds. We've been working on opening our hearts. And when we open our hearts, it's opening our hearts to one another so that we can not only co-create with one another, we can sense the whole that ties us together as one sacred community. And as we drop deeper into that change curve, we open our wills. We open our wills to source. And then we journey up the other side of the change curve. And what we want to do as we journey up, this next step, what we did this weekend, was about beginning to crystallize that creative energy with vision, with intention. But it's not about our individual preferences. It's about continually accessing source, continually sensing from the whole, sharing our ideas freely, but allowing something more to emerge. And so I have the privilege to share the incredible work that was done by the many people that participated over the weekend. Really, we've been grounding all of this in the question: what is Spirit seeking to give birth to in this community? What is Spirit seeking to emerge in the midst of us so that we can fully live into who we are as a spiritual community and give our full potential to the world, to create the healing, the transformation, the space for something new to occur in our world. And that takes open minds, open hearts, open wills, over and over and over again. So we began with groups speaking with one another and sharing an experience with someone in this spiritual community that had touched them, that had opened their hearts, that had supported them in some way. And from those conversations, we called forth qualities that seemed to be expressed in those interactions. And those became our core values. This is what the group sensed in their interactions with one another: inclusivity, authenticity, connection, and divine inspiration. And I want to be sure to acknowledge that we had love on the list, and there was this wonderful conversation where we were winnowing it down. We were trying to get down to 3, and someone said, you know what? It's all love. Each one of these values is part of the expression of love. Love is the foundation on which they rest. Now, this work isn't quite done. We're still in the question of whether we can get it down to 3. And we're fine-tuning that, and there's a team that's going to be working on the core values and seeing if they can bring 2 together in some way, or maybe rephrase them in a little bit. And then they're going to create definitions for each core value and behaviors that exemplify them. Because you see, your core values are the qualities that you express with one another, with the world, when you are living your best self. So we want to get really clear about what that looks like so that each and every one of you can wrap your arms around it and begin to give full expression in this community. So I want you to just take a moment and take that in. Open your mind, your heart, your will, and just allow these values to rest in your heart. Inclusivity, authenticity, connection, divine inspiration. Just consider the power in living from those values. Amen. So the next step was creating a vision statement. And the vision statement is huge. The vision statement is the answer to the question, what is our highest aspiration for the world? You see, we could just live our lives concerned with just ourselves. But a vision statement invites us to continually be more. It invites us to be part of this co-creative process that is allowing an incredible expression of love and wholeness to permeate our entire planet. So we made this really big. It's totally aspirational. It's not about creating a 12-step plan to get there. It's about having a statement that is continually inviting us to move forward, continually inviting us to give greater expression to our divine essence. And what we came up with for that was a world lovingly transformed through global spiritual awakening and expressing our divine potential. I see some heads nodding. Doesn't that make your fingers and your toes tickle? Doesn't it make you want to be part of it? So once again, I'm going to invite us to just take that in. Open our minds. Open our hearts. Open our wills. And just consider what it would be like for this intention to live inside all of our activities. A world powerfully transformed through through global spiritual awakening and expressing our divine potential. And so it is. Lastly, we talked about mission. And the mission is about taking that huge vision and weaning it down a little bit. It's about what this community, how we can realize that vision, what is uniquely ours to do to contribute to that greater vision. And this is what everyone called, well, there was a little goat. I told you there was a little goat. You know, when you get 40, 50 people together, and they all have different ideas, sometimes it's a little messy. But it was a rich opportunity for people to hear varied opinions and various ideas and various ways of looking at who you are as a community. And we didn't quite reach a point where we had a statement that we could all coalesce around. We're almost there. We have 3 possibilities that we're looking at, and neither one of them is perfect. Again, this team is going to be working on fine-tuning it. It's actually another team. It's going to be working on fine-tuning it and bringing it down to one statement. But I want to share with you the 3 statements that were part of the discussion yesterday. We are an inclusive spiritual community who pray, celebrate, and embody unity principles to uplift, inspire, and transform ourselves and the world through love and service. The second one was Unity in Marin is an inclusive community dedicated to positive, practical spirituality, lifelong learning, service, and love in all that we do. And finally, there was some people that really resonated with your former mission statement, but suggested the addition of the word inclusive. So that reads, we are an inclusive spiritual community committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened and enlightened life. There are a couple of words in these statements that I really want to highlight. There was rich discussion, as Deanne mentioned earlier, about inclusivity. How can we be an inclusive community? And I'm not suggesting in any way that you aren't, but again, it's about leaning into more. I mean, what would it be like to be in a community where whoever you were, whatever your uniqueness, you could feel fully welcomed, fully supported, fully acknowledged for the expression of God that you are. That would be pretty powerful. And, you know, as human beings, we tend to have little biases and little judgments. So how can we open ourselves up to really ensure that whatever your uniqueness, we embrace it. We love you because that's who we are. The other word that came up in rich discussion was service. And actually, I should mention that both of these words, when I did the assessment several months ago, were also part of the discussion. And the discussion about service was kind of, well, we really don't do much service, external service. And there was an acknowledgement of that and kind of a little bit of back and forth, because there's a polarity here that I want to surface between service internally, an inward movement that supports the people that are already here. And there's an external form of service that goes out in the world and takes who we are into the world, because who we are makes a difference. And it doesn't matter if they ever show up here. Because who we are as individuals and as a community is meant to be shared. We are a part of a global vision of making a difference. So part of our work going forward as we step into the planning stages that are coming next is to find the balance, to find the both and. Yes, nurturing the people that are here and nurturing the world. How do we do both? And how do we support the transformation in this world that we want to be a part of? So I'm going to invite you once more to close your eyes. Open your mind. Open your heart. Open your will. And just allow these mission statements to rest on your heart. We are an inclusive spiritual community who pray, celebrate, and embody unity principles to uplift, inspire, and transform ourselves and our world through love and service. Unity in Marin is an inclusive community dedicated to positive, practical spirituality, lifelong learning, service, and love in all that we do. We are an inclusive spiritual community committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened and enlightened life. Just rest with those for a moment. And so it is. I'm just feeling really full right now with the potential, the power, the love, the light that is you. So we want everybody's input. And so if we could pass out the input forms, you're gonna be asked in these forms to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, the vision statement and each of the potential mission statements. And if it's not a 10, to let us know what it would take, if it's not an 8, what it would take to make it better, okay? And we're going to collect all that. The team is going to take it and work with it and create a statement, 2 statements, a vision statement and a mission statement that really resonates with this community as a whole. We want them today, so if you can do it now, yeah, and that would be great. I don't think it'll take a lot of time. If you feel like you need time to reflect on it, just make sure you get it back, because we really do need these. And so the journey continues. As we move forward, once we finalize the mission statement, I'm going to be working with you to discern, what does it look like when we are living from our mission? You see, our mission becomes the anchor or the compass or the North Star for this community that allows the leadership to look at every decision in light of what Spirit wants to give birth to in this community. The mission statement aligns you as individuals along a common intention that the universe has set forward for you. Okay? And what I want you to live into, what I invite you to take with you, is that the journey of creation is ongoing. I invite you to continually ask yourselves, what is emerging? What is seeking to be birthed in this community? What is seeking to be birthed in my life? Because all of us have the power and the potential to make a difference in the world. It has been a joy to work with you, each and every one of you. I look forward to our ongoing journey, and namaste.